It started as a quiet Thursday morning on my ranch. I was sipping coffee on the porch, enjoying the sunrise over the hills, when I noticed movement near the house. Of course, my first thought was that it was one of the usual trespassers, deer, coyotes, or the occasional neighbor curious about my property. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. HOA Karen, the local embodiment of overzealous entitlement, had somehow decided my ranch was her personal playground. She had been escalating little visits for months, complaining about the way I parked my truck, measuring my fence lines without permission, and even sending passive-aggressive letters about my landscaping. But this time, she crossed a line that would make her entire HOA career a cautionary tale. I heard the familiar crunch of boots on gravel and knew it was her before even looking. But when I walked toward the sound, my jaw dropped. There she was, prying open the lock on my safe in the corner of my study. My safe, the one that holds extremely sensitive information, personal valuables, and, let's just say, things that the average HOA board member has absolutely no business touching. "Karen, what in the world are you doing?" I yelled. She jumped, clearly not expecting me, but her panic quickly shifted into a show of self-righteousness. "I'm calling this in. I'm protecting the neighborhood," she stammered, fumbling for her phone. And she did call 911. That much was true. But here's where the story takes a turn she didn't anticipate. You see, my safe isn't just a safe, it's a high-security unit connected to multiple federal alarms. One wrong move triggers notifications to the FBI, local authorities, and my private security team simultaneously. Essentially, it's the Fort Knox of personal security. As she pried, a blaring alarm erupted, red lights flashing from the safe, my entire ranch lighting up like a holiday display. Karen screamed, dropping her phone in shock, trying to explain to the 911 operator that she was just checking on me. But there was no time. Within minutes, my security feed was live-streamed to the FBI control room, and multiple units were dispatched to my property. I stepped back, partly in disbelief and partly amused. There she was, standing frozen, thinking she was the vigilant citizen catching a criminal, while simultaneously triggering a federal response. By the time the first agents arrived, Karen was crouched behind my porch, whispering frantically into her phone, claiming she had the right to enter. I could see the disbelief on the FBI agents' faces as they approached. One of them raised an eyebrow at me. "She broke into a federal-level secured safe?" he asked, trying to keep a straight face. "Apparently," I replied dryly, and called 911 to report herself. Karen's argument collapsed instantly. Her face went from smug to pale as the reality hit. She wasn't just trespassing. She had triggered multiple federal laws. She tried to explain, tried to assert her HOA authority, but the agents weren't interested in HOA bylaws. They were interested in the fact that someone had illegally tampered with a high-security federal safe. After a brief but stern questioning, Karen was escorted off the property and cited for multiple offenses: trespassing, breaking and entering, and unofficially making a very poor life choice. I couldn't help but smile as she was led away, muttering something about neighborhood protection. Meanwhile, my safe sat untouched, its alarms quieting down, though still alerting me to the fact that Karen's ego had just cost her a very expensive lesson. By the time the dust settled, my ranch returned to its usual peace. I updated my security logs, checked my valuables, and poured another cup of coffee. From my porch, I could see Karen being driven off by authorities, waving weakly like a defeated cartoon villain. And in that moment, I realized that the universe has a sense of humor, and sometimes it involves overzealous HOA members accidentally triggering federal responses. The moral? If you ever feel the urge to meddle in someone else's private property, make sure it's not federally secured, and definitely don't call 911 on yourself. Karen learned this the hard way. I learned it once again. Nothing beats a calm morning coffee while watching chaos unfold like a well-scripted movie.